स्क्रीन विजिबल है?
जी जी।
तो सबसे पहले तो वी विल स्टार्ट विद प्रेयर्स, हाँ, और उसके बाद फिर हम आगे के जो भी टॉपिक्स हैं वो शुरू करेंगे, ठीक है? तो ये प्रेयर्स हैं, तो वी विल स्टार्ट। ओम अज्ञानतिमिरन्धस्य ज्ञानाञ्जनशलाकया चक्षुरुन्मिलितं येन तस्मै श्रीगुरुवे नमः। नमो विष्णुपादाय कृष्णपृष्ठाय भूतले श्रीमते भक्तिवेदान्त स्वामिनिति नामिने। नमस्ते सारस्वते देवे गौरवाणी प्रचारिणे निर्विशेष शून्यवादी पाश्चात्य देशतारिणे। जय श्री कृष्ण चैतन्य प्रभु नित्यानंद श्री अद्वैत गदाधर श्रीवासादि गौर भक्तवृंदा। हरे कृष्णा कृष्ण कृष्ण हरे हरे, हरे राम 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 हरे हरे। So we'll just quickly revise what we have studied so far. So we studied why Hare Krishna Mahamantra is for Kali Yuga and Shastric references for this, and then how the universal time is divided according to the Vedas, Satyug, Treta Yug, Dwapar Yug and Kali Yuga. And then this is about how to chant the Mahamantra. So we had sonic meditation session last week. Those who could not join, they can go through the recording. I've already shared. Okay. And then steps to happiness as per Bhagavad Gita. Okay. And after that, we studied what is yoga. Okay. And what is the importance of knowledge in our life. And after that, we studied what is the proof that that there is God. So who is qualified actually, to see God. And now we'll move ahead with the next topic. So next topic is how to attain permanent happiness. So as we discussed, that knowledge gives happiness and ignorance gives suffering. Okay. So permanent happiness, see, we are permanent beings because we are souls. Okay. But this place, this material world is a place which is temporary. Okay. Actually, this material world, all the ingredients, the elements with which this world is made up of, all those ingredients are eternal. They are permanent, but their transformation, their appearance and disappearance, momentary, transformation under the influence of time is temporary. Okay. For example, if you talk about this specific body, our external body is made up of 5 elements. Okay. So this you all must be knowing, that earth, water, air, okay, ether, and fire. So this is our external body, which is made up of this. So all these 5 elements are eternal, but under the influence of time, all these elements, they come together and they create this body. And then, when the soul leaves the body, and then what will happen? All these 5 elements will get will go into the basic, their total element. Like air part of it will go out to the total air, fire part of the body will go to the total fire, and so on. So ultimately the ingredients are permanent because Lord is eternal. So Lord Krishna's energies are eternal. But here in the material world, there is transformation of energy. Okay. So under the influence of time. Now here, how to attain permanent happiness. Now we are eternal beings, we are spirit souls. So we are looking for what? We are looking for the right thing, that is happiness, but the place where we are looking for happiness is not the right place. Why? Because this place is temporary. So, and we are permanent. So how can, permanent get connected with temporary? Of course, permanent will not get satisfied with something which is temporary. This is what, we studied in the sonic meditation session also, that when soul comes in contact with the material energy of the Lord, then that is an incompatible situation. So currently we are into incompatible situation because we are looking for happiness in this temporary world. Okay. So how do we attain permanent happiness then? So that would be through transcendental knowledge. Okay. That is the knowledge about life. So when we take that transcendental knowledge, then we'll get to know what we should connect with and what we should not connect with. So how do we get permanent happiness? When we connect with the permanent, with the eternal. And that permanent is what? That is Lord Krishna. Okay. Because Lord Krishna is permanent, we are spirit souls, we are permanent. we are part and parcel of Lord Krishna. We are connected with Lord Krishna through seva. So we'll get to know more about the philosophy as we move ahead. But when we take the transcendental knowledge and we learn what to connect with and what not to connect with, then actually we can attain permanent happiness. So there is one of the verses here. Lord Krishna says that when you are situated in the boat of transcendental knowledge, you will be able to cross over the ocean of miseries. Okay, when we go chapter wise, we'll be doing these verses in detail. Okay, and another important thing is that what actually the success is. One who is happy is actually a successful person, not like how people perceive us. Okay, so we should not rate our success with what others think about us. Okay, so others may think that you are happy, but you may not be happy. That can also be a situation. Or maybe you are very happy, but others may perceive that you are not happy. Okay, so we should always rate our success on the basis of how happy we are, because happiness is what is everybody is looking for in life. Okay, so there could be people who are in a situation which we might not feel is a situation of happiness, but they might be happy. Like nowadays, specifically if we talk about this corporate life, so people strive a lot for high post jobs and earning to earn a lot of money and all those things. But actually money can never give happiness. Okay, even if a person can earn even if a person earns a lot of money, so not necessary he would be satisfied with that. And there could be people, you are at the doing a lower level job, earning less than the other person, so that they might be happy. So in that case, the person who is happy is actually a successful person. Okay, so always we should rate our success with how much happy we are, and not with how people would feel looking at us. We should not rate us on the basis of what others think about us. Okay, and this is what we have to teach our children also, that they should be, and as we learn what are these steps of for happiness. So our children, the first thing that we should teach our children is satisfaction, because unless they are satisfied, they can never be happy. And that is the reason because nowadays why people they commit suicide, even though must have seen cases where they have the person had lot of money, fame, everything, but in spite of that the person committed suicide. So that means name, fame, money does not give happiness. So if we think that these things are giving happiness, so that means our understanding of happiness is incorrect. So happiness should come from within. Okay, and when we understand the nature of this material world, so then we'll understand that the things around us are temporary and perishable. So those things are definitely a day would come that either we will leave those things or those things are going to leave us. So one who is intelligent will not get affected by this temporary nature of the material world. Okay, and now currently when we analyze the situation of this world, so do you agree that in the last 200 years the knowledge has increased? You agree that there is lot of there is no lot of technology improvement that has happened in every field, almost every field. You talk about medical, you talk about communication field, any field that we talk about, the knowledge has increased. And these what we know as the comforts or comforts of living, those have increased. You agree? You all agree with this? Or
I
any
would agree with
different
Mataji. Yes.
opinion? Okay, so but in the last so many like 200 years, if we say, so knowledge has increased, but has happiness increased?
No.
All of you agree that there is some gap, that in spite of
Yeah.
so many comforts we have, but we are not happy. There is more stress in life. Okay, more of dissatisfaction, no peace. Even at, if we see at individual level of, or we see at community level, family level, okay, nations level. So at every level you'll see that the peace has reduced, right? what did we say earlier when we started the session? We said that knowledge brings happiness and ignorance gives suffering. So now this doesn't fit in, right? We say knowledge gives happiness. So ideally, with the increase of the knowledge, happiness should have increased, right? But it has not increased. This is clear so far. What we have analyzed, that knowledge has increased, but happiness has reduced. But we say that knowledge gives happiness. So these two things are not matching, right? So how is it possible? Okay, because knowledge should give happiness. Ideally, these both should have been green. Okay, and the upward trend, that knowledge has increased, happiness has increased. But in reality, we are seeing what, that happiness has reduced. Now here, so what could be the reason? That why is it that the knowledge has increased, but we are not attaining peace? And this knowledge which has increased is actually a knowledge. We may say that because suffering has increased, so this thing that we are considering as knowledge, material knowledge, so maybe this is not knowledge, this may be ignorance. Okay, but that is not the case, because this is also knowledge, because there is so much technical advancement. So this is also knowledge, but there could be one reason, that this knowledge may be missing something. Okay, and what is it that is missing in that knowledge? That we have to understand, and it is due to that missing link to happiness, due to which there is suffering. Okay, and that missing link is what? That missing link is the spiritual knowledge. Okay, so knowledge you can divide into two parts. One is the material knowledge, and other is what? Spiritual knowledge. Okay, but ideally, technically, as per Vedas, this material knowledge is actually known as avidya, which is ignorance. There's a verse in Shri Ishopanishad. Shri Ishopanishad says that this material knowledge is referred to as avidya, and spiritual knowledge is referred to as vidya. Okay, so there is lot of technical advancement, but that technical advancement, that knowledge is the knowledge of avidya, which is material knowledge. Okay, and due to the lack of spiritual knowledge, there is we have seen that the sufferings have increased. Okay, so this knowledge is missing the spiritual aspect, and that is why it is causing this suffering. Okay, this is clear, this point. Okay, so another example of this is that we imagine that there is a check which is full of zeros. Okay, so left hand side, see lots of zeros, lots and lots of zeros, but it has got no value. Okay, but right hand side, if we place a 9 in front of the 0, so it will give a valid number. It has a value. Okay, so this number, see, 0, 0, 0, 0 is also number. Okay, so how would complete that number? By putting another number, which is 9, in order to complete it. So similarly, material knowledge is compared to zeros, but that has to be completed by another knowledge. Like 0 is a number, it has to be completed by another number to make it valid number. Similarly, for material knowledge to make sense, we have to add another knowledge to it. Okay, because that is what the compatibility is. So number can be completed only by number, therefore knowledge will also be completed by knowledge. Okay, and that knowledge, that will give a meaning to this material knowledge, that will give a value to the material knowledge, is the addition of what? Spiritual knowledge. So that means all the knowledge that is around, that we come across, is a big zero without spiritual knowledge. Okay, this is clear? Any questions so far? Okay, and see here it says that this missing knowledge is spiritual knowledge. So here you can see the on the right hand side. So when we take only material knowledge, we keep on taking only material knowledge and do not focus on taking spiritual knowledge, so we have half personality. Because actually, see, what we are, spiritual beings, we are having this human experience, but we are spiritual beings. This bodily experience is due to the acceptance of this human form of life, but actually we are spiritual beings. But now if we focus all our studies, all the knowledge, if it is focused just on the material body, So what will happen? We are losing out on what? On the spiritual aspect of our personality. And actually spiritual knowledge is the food for the soul. Okay, and due to this, what happens that the half of personality, we are missing the second half of the personality, and when we take in the spiritual knowledge, then we attain what? Complete personality. Okay.
अब तक की बात तो ठीक है माता जी. I am satisfied what you have said, that knowledge and spiritual knowledge is the complete knowledge.
Is the complete knowledge. So what I'm asking is, if a person, you watch a person who is spending most of his time on unimportant things, so do you think that he's intelligent, or you think he's a fool? He's not intelligent.
No, I am not saying he is just that knowledge is basically only materialistic knowledge, that we are just endorsing ourselves, just putting. But I think there is no that much output. Happiness is not connected to that knowledge.
Yes, because happiness is characteristic of the soul. It is not the characteristic of the body. Okay. Yeah. So what the things that we are thinking that is happiness is actually, all comforts of life that we are running after. And all those comforts are what? They are related with the body. But happiness is not, because body is always dead. Okay, just understand this external body that we can see. It's actually, it is a dead body. It's only because of the presence of the soul that, the body is acting. Okay. So, and what is the characteristic of this body? See, soul characteristic is Sat, Chit, and Anand. Sat means what? Eternal. Okay, Chit means knowledgeable and conscious. And Anand means what? Happiness. And what is the characteristic of material energy, that of which our body is made up of? That is Asat, Achit, Niranand. Asat means temporary, not eternal. Achit means what? Not conscious. Niranand means lack of happiness, not happy. So this body, the basic material elements of which our body is made up of is essentially, it is what? It is Niranand. So, but now what we are trying to do, we are thinking that, when we give comfort to our body, we will be happy. But happiness is not the characteristic of the body. Happiness is the characteristic of the soul. Okay. So here, by this example, that when we are, spending more time for less important things, that is, we are spending more time on material, learning the material knowledge. So what will happen? We will not be happy. That would be a waste of time. And our Vedas do not say that, don't take material knowledge. They do not say. Shri Ishopanishad says that both material knowledge and spiritual knowledge have to be taken side by side. Okay, it's not that they are saying that just get rid of the material knowledge and only focus on spiritual. No, they say that you have to take both knowledge side by side. Okay. Now these specific questions: what is more important, a living body or a dead body? So obviously living body is important, right? Dead body is not that important. It is living body that is important. Then what is common between a living body and a dead body? So body is common between a dead body and living body. And what is the difference between living body and dead body? It is the soul. Okay. Living body has a soul and dead body does not have a soul. All right. So that means, which is more important, living body or a dead body? So living body is more important. Now, how much time we are giving to understand this? The soul, life. We are not spending much time. Okay. Almost negligible. We are spending more time on the body, which we have understood that it is less important than, living body. So we are not spending time to understand life. And that is what the cause of our suffering is. And that is why we are not in knowledge. Actually, we are in ignorance. And due to this, that we cannot be happy. That is why we are not at peace. We are not happy. Okay. Now, should spiritual knowledge be taken in old age? So there is a myth, that people say that you should take knowledge in old age, right? When you do spiritual talks with your friends or with your parents also, so they'll say कि ये तो कोई आपकी उम्र नहीं है, this is not your age. Okay, this is not your age to take this, to get into spirituality, right? This is a myth that people think that, one should take this knowledge in old age. But now, as we understood that this knowledge of life gives happiness, so that means shall we take that secret to happiness when we grow old, and all of the time, we focus on material knowledge and be dissatisfied and unhappy? And that too in old age, when we become incapable, because our energy level is also very less, we become more diseased. Okay, and we won't able to engage much time into even physically or mentally. We won't be able to engage much time in understanding and doing service to the Lord and seva and all. But still, our elders generally, people say that this is not the right time for you to do spirituality. You should do it in old age. So this is a myth. So knowledge has to be taken just from the beginning of life, and that beginning of life actually is from the mother's womb. If we consider the example of Abhimanyu, he took the knowledge of that Chakravyuh, when he was in his mother's womb. So that is why, it is recommended when, females are, Matajis are pregnant, so they should take lots and lots of, spiritual knowledge during that time, because that will actually impact the consciousness, the chetana, the consciousness of the child also. And practically you will see, those who involve lot into materialism, so children also have that kind of consciousness. And those who, spend more time in taking spiritual knowledge and doing spiritual activities, then, the consciousness of the child is also very, very, very divine and spiritual consciousness. Birth, death, old age, and disease. These are all known as the miseries that the soul has to face due to acceptance of the body in this material world. So old age itself is a misery. So when we are in old age, we are in a miserable condition. How can we serve the Lord? How can we take knowledge? It is very difficult. Okay. So it is absolutely, so those who have got, children, just ensure that you give them the knowledge at this point of time. Better, late than never. So try, to give them knowledge from the beginning, because then only actually you will be able to show them the way of happiness, show them the way of satisfaction. Otherwise, we are creating, this current generation is very, very fragile, because they are lacking the spiritual knowledge. At least we had heard when we were small, we had heard, these, the glories of Lord Krishna, Lord Ram. We had heard these glories from our grandparents. But gradually, as we are progressing further, our children are also not getting that opportunity. They are more, busy with their mobiles, with their television, lot of distraction. And all these, materials of sense gratification, we are getting at very cheap price. And they're very easily available. So they are tempting people, misguiding, they're tempting children, misguiding children. And even we are misguided. They are, so addictive that you will see that even adults, they get misguided. So it is absolutely, important that by using wisdom, by using spiritual intelligence, we understand what is it that we have to connect with and what is it that we do not have to connect with. And that, change should start from us. Because when we are going and telling our children also, they will not follow our advice. They will follow our, what we say, acharan, our behavior. It is very important. Because otherwise, they'll say, ki, Mama, aap hame to bolte ho. But see, you yourself are on mobile. So why you are telling me? So we have to set an example for our children. And, that is the meaning, you must have heard acharya. We say acharya. So the meaning of acharya is who teaches by example. Acharan se jo sikhate. Not just mere talks. Okay. So very, very important, we should try to, teach our children. We should try to facilitate and encourage our children to take spiritual life from the beginning. It is very important. And although even now, if your children are grown up, have not taken that, but at least now we can start. Yes, Tanvi Mataji, please go ahead.
Okay, what are some ways to get the kids to, bring them the spirituality? Like, they do like chanting or something, or like what are are there any ways to, make it simpler for kids so that they will get interested into it?
Yes, we have got a lot of resources that we can share. We have a online Gurukul in our institution. So what we are doing there is we are conducting classes for children twice a week, and it's 1 hour classes twice a week. So we the sessions are for 3 years to 5 6 years. There is a one a different class, and then 7 years to 10 10 11 years another batch. And similarly we have batches for teenagers also, and for in fact matajis also we have classes. So try take those trial classes for them, and if they like, because yeah, in that they will see other children also taking the classes. Okay, so they will get association of like minded, because nowadays the surroundings, the children that they come across, generally even we, when we are into office or when we are doing business, or going around in society, in family, everywhere, more what we'll find is materialism around, materialistic people, not spiritual, spiritually conscious, very less opportunity. So we can give children an opportunity, to join these classes and get motivated by associating with other children of their age who are doing this. And apart from that, I've got a lot of resources if your children are young. So I have the resources of ABC, which is spiritually taught, okay, with stories, and also with qualities. For example, like A. So we say A for Arjun, and also A for attentiveness. So what we can do when we are teaching child A is the story of Arjun ji, how exalted Arjun ji is a devotee of Lord Krishna, and the importance of attentiveness. Okay, so from the Sadhu Charitra, child will learn. And also, again, when we are explaining them the quality of this attentiveness, that would be also through the Sadhu Charitra. Okay, so those kind of things we can do for small, little bit grown up. So we take obviously moral, like story classes we do. Along with that, we do the these stories from the Vedas. Okay, and certain some activity based sessions are also there, in which children are engaged. For example, one of the sessions, like what are the qualities of a good student. So we created a chart where children will just pull in their ideas, and then we'll summarize, and then summarize and encourage children to follow those when they are when they are learning, they are in class, in school, college. So like that. And there are certain show and tell activities also that we do. Show and tell, for example, one of the activity, they were very small children, so we did one activity where we told them that okay, you have to talk about your family, and you have to talk about what all spiritual activities you are doing daily basis, with your family, how you are you are coming working together, or family coming together, and serving the Lord and helping each other. So
Mhm.
these kind of activities, colors, small children, we teach colors, how that blue color is the color of Krishna. Okay, blue color is the color of the dress of Radharani. And you know why you would see that Krishna wears yellow color and Radharani wears blue color? So because Radharani loves Krishna, so Krishna is blue. So Radharani wears blue. And Krishna loves Radharani. Radharani is molten gold color. So Krishna wears yellow. So these are like when we teach white color. So we say makhan, milk. So we'll connect it to Krishna story. That see Krishna loves makhan. And the games that we play with children, those games also we connect with the leelas of Lord Krishna. So because children can learn really well through games. It is very easy. You know what happened when our Guruji said in one of the lectures, he said that when children are born, we give them a lot of toys, right? And what are those toys? All material toys, temporary perishable toys. And children, we do not give them attachment with the Lord, with our Supreme Father. We don't give them, we don't facilitate them to get attached with Lord. Instead, we facilitate them to get attached with the material things. And then what do they learn? They learn that All the things that are material are good, are beautiful, are nice. These are the only things which we must be connected with. So the eternal connection which we have with Lord, that we are not teaching our children. So whatever toys, whatever activities, we do, everything we have to dovetail with Krishna consciousness. Then only we'll be able to engage. And when, children grow up, so then in my teenage, like I take care of the teenagers classes. So there, we do a lot of, reading of the Shastras. We have book club. Okay, weekly we have book club. We discuss the, children read one chapter every week. We discuss on that chapter. I provide them with, short notes, and they are also creating notes. And they also maintain a reflection diary where every day they will write down all the good things, positive things that they have learned in that specific, any good experience that they have learned in that day. Then what will happen? I've told them better whenever you feel, low, whenever you don't feel good, you go through your diary. So you will be motivated with all those positive thoughts, positive energies, positive experiences that you have. So they are doing that reflection part. They are writing, they are writing the notes of the books that they are reading. We are compiling all, and how we are studying also, I would explain. We follow the process of the dua, discover, understand, apply. So what we do is, for example, there is a statement. There is a statement that says that soul is eternal. So we have discovered from that statement that soul is eternal. Okay, that is something new that we have learned, that okay, soul is eternal. Now understand. Then we understand. How do we understand this? Soul is eternal. So that means we have to understand what eternal is. Okay, eternal is something which was occurring in the past, which is occurring in present, and which will always occur in future. So that means which will never perish, which will never die. So okay, soul is what? Soul is eternal means that we'll never die. We are eternally existing, and we will continue to exist, right? And then what further with understanding, we'll work on, we'll find out the shlokas from the Bhagavad Gita which suggest that soul is eternal. Okay, so so there are, there is one of the shlokas like natve vaham jatu nasam natvam neme janadipaha. In this, Lord Krishna tells Arjun that, there was never the time when I was not existing or you were not existing and all these kings were not existing. And there would not be any future time when we all will cease to exist. So that actually confirms the eternity of the soul. So there are other verses also. So in the understand part, we do this. Okay. We try to, find out verses and, understand this concept further. And then application. So what is the application? So application is that I am not this body. I am the spirit soul. I will always exist. It is the body, that perishes, because in the understanding part, we'll also talk about body also, characteristic. So application will be that I am a spirit soul and I do not die. So this is the way, we are learning the concepts with the children who are, teenagers.
Thank you so much. Yeah.
Okay, so this is how we have to, but it is very important. We have to put in our efforts for our children. Otherwise,
Thank you, Mataji. It is very much needed. क्योंकि टेक्नोलॉजी दौड़ में है ना, सब भटक रहे हैं खाली. जैसे जैसे टेक्नोलॉजी ग्रो हो रही है एंड एवरीवन इज खाली बस दीवारों से मुंह मार रहे हैं. सारा दिन इतना देखते हैं, पर एट द एंड ऑफ द डे व्हाट इज द नॉलेज, व्हाट वी आर गेटिंग? नथिंग. इट्स जस्ट जीरो.
एंड हमने ये भी समझा है कि दिस स्पिरिचुअल नॉलेज गिव्स हैप्पीनेस. सो बेटर, दे बिकम हैप्पी नाउ एट दिस मोमेंट इटसेल्फ, रादर देन वी वेट दैट स्पिरिचुअलिटी तो बाद में कर लेना, यू डू इट लेटर. तो हम वैसा नहीं कर सकते. एंड देयर इज अ वर्स इन श्रीमद् भागवतम. इट सेज दैट वन शुड नॉट टेक द रिस्पॉन्सिबिलिटी ऑफ बीइंग अ पेरेंट, बीइंग अ किंग, ऑफ बीइंग अ टीचर, okay, or being a relative, unless one is capable to get his dependents free from the cycle of birth and death. So if we are not capable, actually, one should not take the responsibility of becoming parent. If we cannot, if we are not able to show them the way, or our children the way to get out of this cycle of birth and death. So actually, as per Shastras, we are not parents. We are not fit to be parents. In that case, we are just like animals. We are not, that is not what human, because human life begins with that responsibility. This, these tags of, or these responsibilities of mother, father, uncle, aunt, son, grandfather, grandmother, all these, these responsibilities are given to us by the Vedas. In animals, you will not find mother, father, son, and like that. In animals, they don't have, but humans have. But with these, these designations, there is a responsibility which we have to fulfill. If we do not fill that responsibility, that then we are like animals. That's what Vedic knowledge says. Vedas say. And I'm sorry if you may find these, very harsh, and I'm sorry for that. But I'm telling you what is written. I can share the verses with you. So it is in the 5th canto. So that's what I wanted. And now, I have another session, so I think we'll have to close the session. And anybody has any questions, please go ahead. And something, if I'm not able to explain properly, because today I was in lot of, rush. I had gone to temple. So, just I came just at the right time when the class started. So maybe, I may not have been able to explain certain concept really well. So forgive me for that. If you would like me to repeat, I will repeat in the next session. And if you have any questions for now, I will go ahead and try to answer.
नॉट नॉट एनी माता जी, अभी मैं ये लेक्चर को दोबारा से एक बार पूरा और सुनूंगी. मैं भी आधे रास्ते में सुनती भी आ रही थी. आई एम विद सम पीपल.
Okay. Okay, all right. Saraswati Mataji, any question? Anita Mataji, I'll come to you.
No, ma'am, I'm fine. I'm fine.
Okay, Mataji. Yes, Anita Mataji, please go ahead.
हेलो. हाँ जी माता जी, ये बोलना था कि सॉरी मैं थोड़ा लेट ज्वाइन किया था. एक्चुअली माय डॉटर वाज नॉट वेल. शी इज. तो अच्छा सेशन है, आपने बहुत ही अच्छे से समझाया. मुझे तो बहुत ही अच्छा लगा. बच्चों को जो जब तक आप बताओगे नहीं, खुद एक्शन करके नहीं दिखाओगे, तब तक वो नहीं समझ सकते.
वो नहीं समझेंगे. टेलीविजन, our Guruji says that television is एक आंख का रावण, one eyed रावण.
हाँ जी.
अब तो मोबाइल भी वही है, वन आइड रावण हो गया. ठीक है, तो हमें अपने अंदर ही चेंज लाना पड़ेगा, तो उसी से इंस्पायर होते हैं. वी हैव चिल्ड्रन. मतलब आपको अजीब लगेगा, बट ऐसे भी है कि जैसे माता निटिंग कर रही है तुलसी महारानी की ड्रेस के लिए. माता इज डूइंग. देयर आर बॉयज, दे आर लर्न निटिंग फ्रॉम माता जी. That okay, we'll also prepare a dress for Tulsi Maharani. We'll also prepare a dress for Gopal. तो मतलब उसको ऐसा मत लीजिएगा कि वो फेमिनाइन है, but I'm just giving an example that when we have that, that inclination, dedication to serve, so our children automatically will take it.
हाँ, वो जिस तरह का एनवायरनमेंट उनके चारों तरफ दिखाई देगा, वो उसी को अडॉप्ट करेंगे ना. They will adopt that.
Exactly.
Mataji send me some kind of link or something that my girl is college going. She is in 4th year BTech, so that she can listen and she will try to imbibe.
Sure, I will share.
Yeah, thank you.
Any question, Tanvi Mataji?
Like the way ours is happening online. So, are there anything for kids as well, like online sessions for kids?
Yes, we do session. What is the age of your children? Age group?
12.
One child?
Yeah, one child.
Okay,
12 years.
she's girl?
Boy.
Or a... Okay, he's a boy. 12 years, na? So he can come to my session because I have 12 onwards. So I will share the link of that with you.